As a future career, I'm going to choose to be an astronaut, and this will be a great experience to me and my career and my future.
I am planning on going for a career probably in physics, I'm guessing.
I'm thinking about how that could connect to space and astronauts.
Wanted to pursue a career in mechatronics engineering. It'd be very cool to be able to work on that in space and on spacecrafts, and it'd be very cool to talk with the astronauts about it.
I enjoy STEM, especially physics, and I'm pretty excited about the talk with the astronauts as I've wanted to be one for quite some time.
And I'm really interested in STEM, and I think this talk with the astronauts is going to be really productive because I've wanted to go into a career with aerospace for a very long time now, and it'll be very nice to get the personal views and opinions of the astronauts on the ISS.
And talking to the astronauts today is kind of exciting and interesting, as STEM is one of my favourite subjects, I would say.
Loud and clear. Today we introduce the Mountain Creek State High School, Queensland, Australia. Are you ready for first question, Takuya?
Yes, I'm ready for the first question. Good evening to people in Australia. Over.
Okay, go ahead, George.
Hi, this is George. What are the goals for your mission, and what are you working on to achieve those goals? Over.
My goal is to bring back scientific results which will be beneficial for people on the ground. And to achieve this goal, we are conducting a wide variety of experiments on board the ISS. Over.
Hi, this is Clara. How often do you speak to the people back on Earth? Over.
Very often, the ISS is mainly controlled and operated by mission control centers on the ground, so we regularly talk to flight controllers almost every day. Over.
Hi, this is Fletcher. What is the coolest part about being on the ISS? Over.
Microgravity is so unique environment, so I think that's the coolest part of our job and being on the station. Thank you. Over.
Hi, my name is William. How would you mentally prepare for a spacewalk? Over.
I think it's very important to understand procedures in details and also to convince myself that I'm not falling to the earth in microgravity in order for me to mentally prepare for a spacewalk. Thank you. Over.
Hi, this is Yashvi. If you could bring one item from Earth on board the International Space Station just for comfort or fun, what would it be and why? Over.
Because inside the ISS it's pretty noisy, so I would bring a music player so that I can listen to music instead of noises. Over.
Hi, this is Olivia. What was your impression when you first looked at Earth from the space station? Did you feel more connected or distant? Over.
The ISS is only 400 kilometers above the ground, so I still feel we are connected to our mother planet. And my impression of Earth is it's a blue planet, just like Yuri Gagarin said almost 60 years ago. Over.
Hi,
this is Magnus. What kind of ideas and inventions in future exploration do you think are the most exciting? Mars habitats, faster space travel, etc. Over.
Because distance matters when we go on interplanet space travel. It's a new transportation system which is much faster and much more efficient and more robust. Over.
Hi, this is Lan. How do you sleep in zero gravity? And how do you manage your sleep schedule without a normal day-night cycle? Over.
We depend on our watch to know what time it is, and I usually go to bed around 10 p.m. And to prevent floating away during sleep, we use sleeping bags to secure our bodies. Over.
Hi, this is George. How might your experience of space differ to those 100 years from now? Over.
I've seen life in space significantly improved since my last flight, which was in 2016, so I hope it will become more comfortable in 100 years. Over.
Hi, this is Clara. Has anything unexpected happened during your time on the ISS? Over.
Yes, unexpected situation could anytime happen in space. However, nothing was serious so far, so we are lucky. Over.
What do you do for exercise each day? Over.
So we do exercises in order to prevent bone and muscle loss, and 2 hours every day. It's part of our work here, and we run on a treadmill. We have cycle ergometer, and we have also special device called ARED for resistance exercises. Over.
Hi, this is William. What type of tasks does the crew take care of to keep the space station running smoothly? Over.
Our maintenance tasks could be anything like changing a filter, cleaning dust, removing a broken box, and replacing it with new one, and so on. Over.
Hi, this is Yashvi. What's the most unexpected or unusual challenge you've faced during your mission? Something training didn't fully prepare you for? Over.
When we worked on carbon dioxide removal system a couple of weeks ago, we had a challenge with some hoses which were very difficult to disconnect, but we finally made it. Over.
Hi, this is Olivia. On Earth, we often rely on our senses for tasks, but in space, do any of your senses feel heightened or less reliable? Like, does food really taste different? Over.
For me, all food tastes less than on the ground. I believe it's due to a fluid shift caused by microgravity. Also, I feel my vision has been degraded to some extent. Over.
What do you most look forward to when you return to Earth? Over.
I'm a big fan of ramen noodles, so that's something I look forward to. Of course, it's besides seeing my family. Over.
Hi, this is Lan again. What's your favorite way to spend free time, and how often do you get it? Over.
I spend my free time to look out of windows, take pictures, and watch movies, and so on. And Saturday and Sunday are basically day off for us. Over.
Hi, this is George. I'm thinking about working in aerospace. What career path should I consider studying? Over.
There are a lot of engineers from a wide variety of areas of science working in the aerospace industry. So studying any area of science could give you a chance, especially electronics. It's a big area. Over.
Hi, this is Clara. How easy do you think it will be to readjust back to normal life when you return to Earth? Over.
The first week or so could be rough, but after that it will be easy since my body still remembers what the life on Earth is like. I think it will take a couple of weeks to get back to normal life. Over.
Hi, this is Fletcher. What were your jobs before you became an astronaut? Over.
I was a commercial airline pilot. I flew co-pilot. Over.
Hi, this is William. How do you keep yourself healthy while living in space? How do you think your muscles will react to gravity when you return? Over.
We do exercise 2 hours every day and record our food intake so that dietitian can track our diet. Because we have really good exercise devices, I think my muscles will quickly readapt to gravity. Over.
Hi, this is Yashvi. If we eventually live on Moon or Mars, what do you think will be the biggest lifestyle change humans will have to get used to compared to life on the International Space Station? Over.
Resupply mission will be much more challenging for those destinations, so we need to live with very limited supply, or we need to produce things there by ourselves. Over.